how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists, but they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years.
After a journey packed with courtroom tension, viral controversy, and relentless damage control by ABC leadership, Karoline Leavitt has achieved something extraordinary. She has won a staggering $800 million defamation judgment against The View. Yes, that figure is accurate. The long-dominant daytime program that once appeared untouchable has now suffered the most devastating blow in its entire existence. And Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and Sunny Hostin are completely rattled. Their reputations damaged, their network plunged into full-blown crisis. And Karoline didn't merely win a legal battle, she rewrote the entire story. This stopped being just a personal matter. It evolved into a cultural turning point. A moment where someone finally confronted legacy media and declared, "This ends now." But how did things escalate so dramatically? What exactly was said on The View that sparked this firestorm? And how did Karoline transform a viral clip into a legal shockwave? Prepare yourself, because this story hits hard. But before we get into it, hit like, subscribe, and watch until the end, because this might permanently reshape how you view daytime TV. Already a subscriber? Perfect. Let's get into it. Like most explosive moments on The View, it began quietly. A sideways glance, a loaded tone, a deliberate remark. Karoline didn't walk in blind. She understood the atmosphere, a setting where opposing perspectives, particularly from conservative women, are routinely reduced to caricatures. Even so, she arrived composed, polished, and focused. She came prepared to talk policy, national security, and real-world issues. What she encountered instead was a coordinated on-air attack dressed up as dialogue.
They really don't like this woman. She's a good communicator. And so Joy Behar just offered her analysis on why Leavitt was picked for the role.
Joy Behar made the opening move. Leaning in, her voice thick with sarcasm, she dropped a line that immediately shifted the energy in the room. Let's be real, she's not here for her intellect. Trump probably just likes how she looks. The audience responded, and it was anything but harmless laughter. It felt pointed. Then Sunny Hostin jumped in without missing a beat. This has nothing to do with qualifications. It's about privilege, full stop. The atmosphere grew tense rapidly. And just when it seemed it couldn't escalate further, Whoopi Goldberg delivered a remark that would set everything ablaze. Without this political climate, you wouldn't even matter. That was the moment everything changed. Within hours, the footage was everywhere. Social media detonated. Hashtags surged to the top of trending lists. But Karoline didn't respond with emotion. No breakdown. No furious posts. She stayed composed, deliberate, and calculated. She simply straightened her posture, reached for her water, and smiled.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay,
now, as
I'm
for
sorry,
this
guys.
debate,
We're going to come back out to the panel. Karoline, thank you very much for your time.
These women are completely out of touch with reality, and you're right. ABC should wake.
Because underneath that composed exterior, a decision had already been set in motion. The instant the cameras went dark, Karoline moved. She reached out to her legal team. And from that point forward, everything shifted. News headlines began pouring in. Karoline Leavitt files $800 million lawsuit. ABC facing major legal challenge. This was no longer a social media spat. This was real. Her attorneys arrived fully armed, transcripts, recordings, and thorough documentation. Every statement from the broadcast cataloged, every moment preserved, including conduct that occurred away from the cameras. Then the bombshell dropped. Internal communications surfaced, messages implying the segment had been deliberately engineered to provoke her. Notes indicating that specific co-hosts had been assigned to target her in particular ways. That revelation changed everything. This wasn't careless. It appeared deliberate. And ABC was completely blindsided. Executives went into crisis mode. Legal teams burned the midnight oil. The network launched full emergency response protocols because this had moved far beyond negative press. It was a total institutional emergency.
Trump's life echoed the sentiment that President Trump is a threat to democracy. And if you're a deranged lunatic and you're mentally ill, you will believe that lie. And yes, you will take political violence like we have seen in 2 instances against President Trump. Last week, Tim Walz and Kamala Harris said that everyone who showed up to President Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden was a Nazi. That's despicable, dangerous, divisive rhetoric that is spewed by the Democrat Party every single day.
Suddenly, Karoline was no longer simply a guest. She had become a symbol, someone who dared to challenge the establishment, someone who demanded accountability. And behind closed doors, the cracks were widening. Reports emerged that Whoopi quietly attempted to reach her through shared contacts, hoping to de-escalate things privately. Joy Behar allegedly explored the possibility of an out-of-court resolution, even considering issuing a public statement. Sunny Hostin, drawing on her own legal background, reportedly treated the situation with grave seriousness, consulting independent legal counsel and growing increasingly concerned about personal liability. But Karoline's team didn't waver. Their position was unambiguous. No deals. No compromises.
Isn't it rich that The View is saying she got the job based on looks when DEI is all about based on looks?
Inside ABC's walls, the pressure reached a breaking point. Emergency sessions were convened. Fierce arguments broke out. Every possible option was placed on the table, including shutting the show down altogether. What had begun as quiet internal murmuring quickly spread beyond those walls. Information leaked. Social media seized on it immediately. And Karoline's team sent one unmistakable message to the world: accountability is not optional. Then the courtroom became the arena. Press cameras lined every angle. Media coverage was at a fever pitch. Karoline walked in steady and controlled. The host seated across from her looked visibly strained. The proceedings got underway. Evidence was presented, footage was screened, testimony was scrutinized, and one piece of evidence silenced the room. Internal production notes suggesting the team had been deliberately angling for a viral reaction. The weight of that revelation was inescapable.
The most divisive and disgusting speech that any president, certainly in my lifetime, has ever given. He essentially waged war on half of the country by saying that we are all a threat to democracy because we believe in putting America first. It's not radical to want to put your country and your own people first. It's not radical to want to have a strong border, a strong military, and to unleash the might of your own economy, not economies around the world.
Then the verdict arrived. The jury rendered its decision. Liability was established, and the damages totaled $800 million. The response was instantaneous. Digital platforms erupted. Reactions poured in from every direction. Some described it as a landmark moment. Others saw it as a stark warning. ABC descended into panic. Advertisers began reassessing their commitments. Internal strain intensified. The show's long-term future suddenly hung in the balance. Meanwhile, Karoline's public standing soared. Messages of support flooded in. Her influence expanded more powerfully than ever before.
A lot of reporting out there that is putting the onus on this White House for the increased cost of eggs. I would like to point out to each and every one of you that in 2024, when Joe Biden was in the Oval Office, or upstairs in the residence sleeping, I'm not so sure, egg prices increased 65% in this country. We also have seen the cost of everything, not just eggs. Bacon, groceries, gasoline have increased because of the inflationary policies of the last administration.
The aftermath evolved into a movement. Supporters coined phrases and rallying calls. Merchandise began circulating online. The message spread at remarkable speed. What had originated as a single television segment had grown into something far greater.
Do you want to take this?
So, you cannot be attractive and smart? I will try to give Joy the benefit, and well, thank you. I try to give Joy the benefit of the doubt that she didn't see that briefing. Because if you saw that yesterday on numerous topics, no big binder, I think she might have had a different impression of this young woman who held her own.
I mean, you would have to give her the benefit of the doubt that she did absolutely no research or reading about anything dealing with Karoline Leavitt before she made that remark.
Today, the impact cannot be ignored. Media organizations are operating with far more caution. Public conversations are shifting. The boundaries of acceptable commentary are being seriously re-examined because this moment proved one undeniable truth: words carry real consequences.
Yes, and as you mentioned, with conservative women, there's a long list of that, both of Trump's previous press secretaries, females, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Kayleigh McEnany, other figures like his campaign manager the first time, Kellyanne Conway, Sarah Palin very famously had to bear the brunt of a lot of this. So people are used to that. I think in their bubble of the audience that The View speaks to, that's probably kind of what the group think is. So one defense, I guess, is that she was speaking to her audience, but you take it outside of that bubble the way you are right now, and we all can see.
So now the question belongs to you. Was Karoline right to take this course of action? Did The View cross a boundary it shouldn't have? Or is this simply the new reality of media in the modern age?